Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to sit down and share my labor and delivery story with you guys. I've been wanting to film this video for quite some time now, but being a new mom, this hair is... Sorry. So like I was saying, being a new mom is a bit difficult, so you can't really find the time to sit down and talk. So I'm gonna take advantage that Adriana is sleeping and record this video. So if you like these types of videos where you just sit down and hear somebody talk, just keep on watching. So where should I start? Adriana was born on March 21st of 2016 at 6:36 p.m. And it all started, I want to say, around 4 a.m. Oops, sorry. Around 4 a.m. I thought I was really constipated and I had this like weird pain. It didn't feel like a menstrual cramp, and it didn't feel like a contraction. It just felt like I needed to go to the bathroom and I couldn't. So for that whole week, I couldn't sleep. I want to say I suffered from insomnia when you're pregnant, so I couldn't sleep. I would go to sleep every day at like 4 in the morning, and it sucked because I had to wake up and take my son to school, and he starts school at 8. So that was my routine. I would go to sleep at 4 a.m. and wake up at 8 and then take a nap before going to work. So now that day, I kind of took advantage because it was my last day of work. My last day of work was on the 20th. My first day of maternity leave started on the 21st. I wanted to work up until my due date, but I just was like, no, I'm exhausted. I can't. I had some days where, I had a lot of energy, but just that last week, I think it was the excitement of meeting my son, the excitement of not having to wake up and go to work. So it kind of just hit me, and I was like, you know what, today's gonna be my last day, and I'm blessed enough to have a job where I could, tell them that, and they can say like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, my last day was the 20th, and I went home. I got off of work, I want to say at 1 or 2, and I was like, you know what, today I wanted to get a tripod, I wanted to get a memory card, I wanted to get, I think my bag and everything was already packed. I just had little minor details that I wanted to get taken care of before having the baby. And I came home and I just knocked out, guys. I like knocked out. I was so exhausted. I just wanted to sleep. So did we? Yeah, we picked up Tsunami from his dad's and we came home. I was up watching Law and Order like a freak on Netflix because it's so funny, because when I was pregnant with Tsunami, I did the same thing, but I was induced with him. So the 3 days leading up to his birth, I just stayed up watching Law and Order. And this time around, I would do the same thing. So literally, Sunday the 20th, I was sitting down on my exercise ball in front of the TV in my living room, bouncing up and down, drinking my, I forget the name of the tea, but this tea that supposedly helps induce labor. And nothing was happening, and every single night I would tell my husband, today is the night, today is the night, today is the night. But nope, nothing would happen. So I went to bed around 4:30, and like I was saying, I was feeling uncomfortable, and I finally was tired enough to sleep. So I go and I lay down. My husband leaves to work he starts work at 6, so he wakes up around 5. So I go and I lay down with him, and my back hurts like really bad. And I tell him, my back's really hurting me. So he tries to massage me. As soon as he touches me, oh my God, I was like, do not touch me. That hurt so bad. And I was thinking I hurt my back bouncing on the ball. I was like, great. So then, I go to sleep. the pain goes away after a little bit. I go to sleep. I wake up at 8 o'clock to drop off my son at school. And I come back home, and I was like, you know what? Today I'm going to enjoy it. Today I'm going to relax. I'm going to, you know, just stay at home. So I went back to sleep because I was exhausted. I woke up around 11:30, and I was talking to one of my coworkers and my cousin on the phone. I was texting them both, and then my cousin called me. And we were on the phone. I was literally laying here talking to her, and I was telling her, I was like, God, I feel so uncomfortable. And to me, I was like, I feel so uncomfortable. That uncomfortableness, is that a word? Where you are just done being pregnant. That's how I thought I felt, but I was wrong. So I started feeling just weird, and I started feeling this tightness in my lower abdomen and something that felt like a menstrual cramp. But it also, okay, this is gonna be TMI, but I'm gonna just be completely honest with you guys. When you feel like you have to go poop really, really, really bad, and you kind of feel like your inside's twisting, that's how it felt. So I was like, oh God, I have to go to the bathroom. And remember, the night before, I felt like I couldn't go. So I thought that, you know, it was, you know, my body working its way out or whatever. So I tell her, you know what? I don't know if these are contractions but I feel like this. And I explained it to her, and she was like, well, you know, you should start timing them, be careful. But I was like, no. So that was around 11:30. And I told her Carlos was working and he was going to get off at 2. Sometimes he can get off early if they're not slow. And sorry, if they are slow. So I said, you know what? I'm going to text him. And I texted him and I said, hey babe, you don't have to come home now, but if you can come home early, do it. So by that time, it was already 12 o'clock. I talked to my cousin. We talked forever. So it was 12 o'clock. Literally 12:09, I texted him again, and I was like, no, you need to come home now. I just started getting contractions, guys, like so quickly. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? My coworker called me, and she was asking me like, how are you feeling? And while I was on the phone with her, I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I got another one, and my coworker was like, oh my gosh, are you having a contraction? And I was like, yes, I am. It was so funny because every single time we would talk about like what would happen. So that was around, yeah, so around, it was starting to get to 1 o'clock. And I was like, you know, in my mind, you read everywhere and your doctor tells you and people tell you, you can't go to the hospital until your contractions are 4 minutes apart for a minute long for an hour. That's the 4-1-1 rule. So I guess, you know, I was having contractions for an hour, but I didn't really, they were like 7 minutes apart, and then I wouldn't get one until like 10 minutes, and then I would get another one, and then I wouldn't. And so they weren't very regular. But that's so I thought. Like, I was just so freaked out, guys. It was raining. I was alone. Carlos was working, and I was just like kind of like scared, but kind of also kind of sad because 1, I was gonna be done being pregnant. 2, I thought it was gonna go totally differently. I thought it was gonna happen in the middle of the night. I thought I was gonna wake up, and I was gonna wake up Carlos, and that we were gonna, you know, experience everything together, like from the very beginning to the very end. But it wasn't like that. So I was kind of, you know, sad about that. So I was just like, I need to get ready. So everybody makes fun of me, and I don't know, I mean, not that they make fun of me, but they're kind of like, oh my God, really? I was like, I need to get in the shower because I need to be clean for the nurses. But you think about it, it's so dumb because labor is not a clean thing. But that, I'm just, you know, that's just me. So I get in the shower. When I get in the shower, I get a contraction, and you know, I'm just like grabbing onto my shower curtain and, you know, like the wall, and I'm just like breathing through it and breathing through it. And I thought that, like, you know, a hot bath or a hot shower was supposed to help you. I think it made it worse for me. I got a contraction, and literally 3 minutes later, or what it felt like 3 minutes later, I got another one, and it's starting bawling my eyes out in the bathroom. I started freaking out, and then I was alone at that time, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have this baby in the bath, like I'm gonna be alone, like who's gonna help me deliver this baby? I was just a hot mess. Before I did get in the shower, I did call my my work to tell my husband, you know, to come home. And when he came home, it's so fun, I'm gonna cry. When he came home, I was in the bathroom getting ready. I was like trying to fix my hair and do my makeup, and I heard him. Sorry guys, camera died, baby woke up, had to take care of business, but now we are back in action. Where did I leave off? Sorry, I just had coffee and I'm so energetic. But anyways, I think I left off where I said I was getting ready. And yes, so I was getting ready, and out of nowhere, I just hear boom, 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 boom. And Carlos is literally running our apartment complex. It's like a square, so he was across from our apartment complex running. And when I heard that, I knew it was him, but when I heard it, I had a feeling that it was him, to make sense. But I just felt this like huge like weight lifted off my shoulders. I just felt so like relieved, because I was like, okay, like, you know, everything's gonna be okay. So before I want to say like 10 minutes before he got there, he got home, I was like, oh my gosh, who's gonna pick up Tsunami from school? Because by that time it was like 12:30ish. I was like, who's gonna pick up Tsunami from school? He gets off at 2:25. So I just called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm going into labor. I need you to come and help me pick up Tsunami from school, because like I can't pick him up, and you know, Carlos is on his way here and he has to take me to the hospital. And you know, moms are moms, and my mom could tell that I was freaking out, and she was like, are you okay? And what cracks me up is that I was like, yes, I'm okay. And then I started having a contraction while I was on the phone with her. Sorry, people walking by. I started having a contraction while I was on the phone with her, and she was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, baby's waking up again. Okay, looks like he's back to sleep. So, while I was having my contraction, I tried to be really quiet and just relax and calm down. And I didn't talk, obviously, and my mom was like, are you okay? What's happening? Oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, Mom, be quiet, I'm having a contraction. Baby's waking up again. Is he pooping? Hold on. But anyways, my mom gets to my apartment. By the time Carlos was already here, and so we get our stuff and we head out to the hospital. I was in so much pain, and I was so scared. Walking down the hallway, I got a contraction, and all I could do was kind of like open my legs and hold on to the wall, and I was like, what is happening? So we live on the second floor. We had to take the elevator down because I was no way in hell going to take the stairs. So while we're on the elevator, we have this elevator that sometimes just acts crazy, and I think it's because of Carlos and Tsunami, because they like to scare me and go in the elevator and like shake it. But anyways, so we get on the elevator and it kind of jolted a little bit, and I look at Carlos and I look at my mom, and I was like, please don't tell me this elevator just broke. Like, that's everything that I just could possibly thought of. It stopped for, I want to say, like 4 seconds, but those 4 seconds felt like 10 minutes. I was so scared. But finally, we get to my car. I tell Carlos, like, I can't sit. Like, there's no way I can sit down. Like, I felt so much pressure and so much pain that I could not physically sit down. While I was waiting for Carlos, I tried to sit on my medicine ball to try to relieve the pain, because that's what I had read, that you could do that and it works. And oh my god, worst idea ever. It felt like somebody shoved something up me, and oh, it hurt so bad. But we finally get there, and you know, when you're in that much pain and you're just so uncomfortable, you try to be nice, but you just can't be nice. So I'm telling Carlos, like, you need to hurry up, and like, he's trying to drive, and that day it was rainy, so there was traffic, there was like the school letting out, like it was just chaotic. Thank God we live so close, we didn't even have to take the freeway to the hospital. But we get to the hospital, and it cracks me up because they have a security guy outside of like the labor and delivery. Obviously, if you show up there, it's because you are having a baby. So we get in the elevator, we figure where we're going. The door's open. I'm out of there. I am so like ready to have this baby. I like run out of the elevator, and the security guy is like, excuse me. And I just turn around and I give him a look of yes. And he's like, are you here visiting somebody? And I'm just like walking, like speed walking, breathing like, no, I'm having a baby. Like, I didn't even turn around to look at Carlos because he was probably so embarrassed. But I was just like, dude, like, you see a pregnant chick like about to pop, she has this look on her face of like fudge, chocolate fudge. Why would you think it's okay to stop her and be like, oh, are you here visiting? No, honey, I'm here to have a baby. But yeah, so as soon as we get there, we make a right to, go down the hallway to check into the nurse's desk. I just like got this feeling of like all different kinds of emotions, and I start crying, and I told Carlos like, oh my god, we're really gonna do this, we're really gonna have the baby. Like, and after that, after I saw the nurses and after I just saw the rooms and everything, again, I felt calm. And you can see on my birth vlog video where I go and I'm just like so calm then. And I work at a spa, so I've learned to kind of like relax and breathe and don't panic, like all of that. So that's what I try to do, and it worked most of the time. So then we get taken into our room and they ask me if I wanted an epidural. Or I don't know if I asked if I could have an epidural. It was somewhere around those lines. And they said, yeah, if you're not that far along, I mean, like dilated enough, you could have it. We got so lucky that Carlos, one of his guests is a, what is it? The head of, is it anesthesiology? Is that like a thing? But he's basically the boss of everybody who goes to the room and gives you the epidural. So the nurse checked me and she was like, oh, it looks like you're a 6 or a 7. And you're fully effaced and everything. And that was from 12 to, we got to the hospital at 2. So in 2 hours, or let's just say 12:09, or yeah, 12:09 to 2, that's how much I dilated. Mind you, I could have been dilating way before, like the night before, or, anything else, or it could have just been that, or that I dilated that much in those 2 hours. Nobody knows. But I was so scared because it usually takes you anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes to get the epidural. And in my mind, I was like, if I wait that long, I'm going to have this baby. Like, I'm going to dilate more and I'm going to have the baby and I'm not going to be able to have an epidural. I can take pain pretty well. And I did want to not have an epidural, but I started thinking, what if when it comes time to push, I just can't physically push. I just can't do it, and I don't want to do it, and I won't do it. And that can be very, very dangerous for the baby. So I was like, no, let's just do the epidural. I was at the point where the pain was really painful, but I could have gone further without the epidural. And the other thing too, the girl next to me was screaming her lungs out, screaming so loud. Carlos kind of was just like, what is going on? What is happening? And it's so funny because we would always watch birth vlogs and he would be like, are you gonna scream like that? Is that what happens? But yeah, that was a little bit, that made me a little bit nervous. So then, it comes time to push. The nurse tells me, okay, let's start pushing. And I push through 2 contractions how did it work? Because I pushed 2 contractions total. And it was 5, I pushed for 5 minutes, basically. And when I pushed, the nurse told me, was it 2 contractions? I don't know. For some reason, I don't seem to remember. But she said I pushed, I want to say 2 contractions, 2 or 3. It was around there, but all I know is I pushed for 5 minutes. The nurse, it freaks me out when they do this, when they tell you to push and they're like, stop, stop, stop. You're like, oh my God, why? You want to close your legs and everything, right? But the doctor comes in and, delivers the baby, and they gave me my little baby. My mom and my mother-in-law were in the room, and it was just such a crazy feeling. It was totally not how I thought it was gonna go. From watching all of these YouTube videos that they vlog their birth, you just expect to be in the hospital for super long. But like they say, not every pregnancy is the same, not every birth is the same, but it was perfect because I wasn't uncomfortable and I was prepared. I had mentally told myself, you're gonna be there for this long, because when I had Tsunami, I was induced, so I was there from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. till he was born. But with this one, I got to the hospital at 12, and at 2, and then I had him at 6:30 or 6:36. So then it was just so fast, and it was we didn't get to record everything that we wanted. But I'm glad that we got the footage that we did. And it was so funny because I had packed my lavender spray, and I had packed an eye mask, and I had packed all these crazy things that would have helped me relax and everything. But yeah, I think if I would have had the chance to do it all over again, I would have definitely not done the epidural. And I don't know. I don't want to say that I didn't. It's so weird because I say this to my friends and they're like, what the heck is wrong with you? But I love giving birth. That experience is so amazing. And I'm so blessed that I have, I'm able to do that, because there's so many, you know, women that can't do that, and there's so many people that want kids and that can't have kids. But I love it because it's just so many emotions and so much love is, you know, going through you, that you're just, you know, at least I love it. And I can't wait. Well, I can definitely wait, but I'm so excited for when we have another baby, because I love it. And everybody was so nice to me. Oh, but okay, see, this is what's my problem. I just start talking, and I don't cover everything. So when, you know, before I started pushing, I got my epidural, but like I said, I was scared that I was going to dilate even more, since I was already 6 centimeters or almost to 7, and waiting like 30 to 40 minutes for the person that comes and gives you the epidural. You know, I could have dilated even more. So I tell Carlos, you need to call your, I just said your friend, you need to call your friend and have him do something, because oh my God, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to do this. So I forget his name, but he called his client, and they quickly sent somebody, within like, after like, I want to say 10 minutes after he called. So I'm so thankful for that, because I think it would have gone totally different if I wouldn't have been able to get the epidural, and I would have been such a baby. But who knows? You're never going to know. Definitely for my next one, I'm going to be super strong, and I'm not going to do an epidural. Hopefully, you know, hopefully. But I think this is about it. I'm so sorry. I'm not like used to being able to sit down and just talk, because I go everywhere and I like lose my place and everything. But thank you so much for, if you've made it this far, to just thank you for sitting there and listening to my story. Leave me a comment below if you are watching this because you are gonna be giving birth soon. If you have a video up about your labor and delivery story, because I love hearing these kinds of videos. And if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe and click the like button if you like this video. So again, thank you guys so much again for watching. See you next time.